Today, I want to do a makeup look inspired by Galadriel. So this makeup look is really about encapsulating her energy and creating a makeup look out of it. So it's part recreation, part trying to get like the same lip and cheek tone, but it's also part artistic interpretation because I want to use this as an opportunity to play with some glowy whites, sparkly whites. I can do that on the eyes. So expect a very soft, very ethereal, very low contrast look today. So that's the plan. Keep on watching if you want to see more. I want to create a very glowy moonlit kind of skin. And I'm going to start this by really laying down a lot of glow product, particularly, of course, on the cheeks. And this is the base before any foundation, before any concealer. She is basically the definition of glow. When she is first introduced, she's literally glowing so much that you see her radiant white glow fall upon the characters before you actually see her. So it's gonna be about trying to get my skin looking that way, though her skin is probably quite matte in real life. But you can actually see up close, there are these like kind of moments where it looks like there's this literal ethereal glow coming off of her. And I think that's mostly with like movie tricks, but I'm gonna attempt to do that with makeup today. So I'm getting this really all over the face. You can just see the soft radiance. I'm even gonna put a little bit more right here. Before I go in with foundation, I'm gonna see how far I can get with just concealer, and I'm going to use a radiant concealer that's usually my brightening shade because I'm gonna be using such like pale blush and lip shades. I want it to stand out as much as possible. So any kind of problem areas, and then definitely the center of the face is an opportunity to get a lot of brightness in the complexion, taking away any redness from the eyelids as well. I'm just using a brush to spread that around the skin, and I'm gonna start to lose a little bit of the glow, but I'm not too worried because it's gonna really peek through, especially with this type of radiant concealer. Now, it's funny that I'm doing this makeup look as like a 31-year-old woman because when I was in grade 4, I was obsessed with Lord of the Rings and Galadriel, and I was literally her for Halloween. But basically, this obsession just runs pretty deep. My skin is looking fairly evened out, and this would be a really nice everyday coverage, but I just want to add that little bit of extra luminosity and coverage. So what I'm going to do is mix a little bit of the Fenty Soft Lit Foundation with this Rituel Fille Creature of Light. This is like a luminous glow product. It has a little bit of pink in it. So I'm going to put a pump of this on the back of my hand, or like half a pump, and then like half a pump of this foundation. Mix them together at the back of my hand. Really work it into the sponge. And now see how this looks like as a sort of topper evening out. It's actually very pretty. I've put the camera on like pretty low light today, hoping that you guys can see like the details of this look. And to me, this like has this really soft glow. Really just adds this perfect like finishing touch to the complexion. Now I'm going to use a very light amount of contour. This is a fairly cool shade from Sephora brand, and it's quite pigmented, but this is about a very light complexion. I'm just going to like right there, just that little dot, blend that out to get a bit of depth. I mean, Cate Blanchett has a great bone structure. Doesn't mean you have to change yours, but it can be nice to just get a little bit more of a poppin' cheekbone. Just a touch of blush. This is from Luna Roots, and it's the shade Bare in the Moonlight. And just bring a touch of color to this. But it's really about keeping it quite light and quite desaturated. She even looks like, she looks like very, how do I explain it? It's not that she looks sick, but she looks like she's fading away, which is the definition of what like an ethereal is in the Kitchener style system. They often look like they're withdrawn. So these really lighter shades suit that. Now I'm going to add more luminosity to the skin. I'm going to use from Phytosurgence their Spectral Shine in Fresh Fog. So I really want to work this product into the brush. Today I'm opting for a little bit of a softer brush than I normally do with this, but really spend a moment getting into this product. You kind of have to warm it up in a way. And then I'm going to kind of work that onto the skin. A bit of a tapping motion, a bit of a slight rubbing. I'm gonna get that in the Cupid's bow. It looks like the top of her lip even has some glow to it. The forehead too, even the center of the forehead a little bit. I hope you can see what this is doing. It's like this very lit from within type of glow. It's not too shiny, not too sparkly. It's not sparkly at all, in fact. And it's not too balmy, so it's not gonna like lift up off the skin easily. That's why you really have to work it into the brush. I want to look kind of surreal, a little strange with the amount of glow happening here. I'm only gonna put a touch of powder right beside the nose, but everything else feels like glowy without being like greasy. And I really want to maintain the glow like everywhere. And then the eyelid for the eyeshadow. I'm gonna fill my brows in lightly. I normally opt for a darker brow these days. Again, going for lower contrast today. This is the brow pencil from Benefit that has a bit of a powdery finish. I'm going to take my foundation brush and get a little bit of my natural color away from my lips. Just what's left on the brush, like ever so slightly take back that pigment. Now I'm going to use Makeup Forever Endless Cacao, and I'm basically doing the same thing I did on the cheeks as the lips. So this acts as a little bit of contour, and if you use this shade lightly, it's really quite subtle. So I'm going to first line the lips to get a touch of definition. And then blending out the edges. That on its own is kind of like a pretty desaturated look that reminds me of her look sometimes, but I do want to add a touch of peachiness. It seems sometimes like her lips lean a little bit peachy. So this is from Makeup by Mara, and the shade is Sierra. I'm going to apply this very lightly. And that's it. And I think this is where you could leave it if you wanted to really do something that feels a little bit more authentic and somewhat mimicking how she looks and feels in the movie. You have the radiance in the skin, a lot of like light bouncing products like embedded throughout the skin. So I feel like it gives that similar effect that she just has, where she looks like literally glowing against the background. And then these really desaturated peachy pinks and a bit of contour, just a bit of soft definition all around the brows, bit of contour, bit of shaping of the lip. But I do want to add that extra oomph, take that artistic detour and create this really sparkly but really soft eye. I'm going to go in with a white eyeshadow. I'm using my trusty Hindash palette I use so often. And I'm going to take this white here with a fluffy brush. It's not too pigmented, and that's kind of the point. I don't want this to feel like a bold white eye. I just want it to feel like it is kind of glowing too. So I'm going to put this sort of like it's a bit of like a highlight in a way at the center of the eye. And I'm going to create this shape that goes from here to the brow bone. And then just anything left on the brush, I think, just blending it out on the eyelid. It's really brightening up the whole thing. Kind of changed my mind from putting too much focus on the center. Before going into the shimmer, I'm going to put a touch of emphasis along the lash line with this gray here and a touch of black. I'm just going to stamp this really, really tightly. This is really just to create a bit of contrast against the white of the eyelid. But everything is remaining very, very soft, very, very subtle. Now I'm going to take Rare Beauty Enlighten, which is a very, very glowy white, and that is going to be the base for the shimmery eye, but before I put sparkles on it, it's like more about the glow at first. And now I'm going to top this off with a very glitzy type of highlight. So this is from Glaminatrix. It's the Elegant Eyes. And I'm going to go in with this sparkle right here called Elegant. Look how sparkly that is. I'm going to tap that right on top. So now it's just starting to get this extra type of sparkle to it. First the glow, then the very glitzy sparkle. I don't want to get too excited by this and get it all over the lid. I want to make sure to keep it still like a little bit sparse, just so that the glow underneath it's still coming through and that it just feels very ethereal and that it's just like catching the light a little bit more at different points. I think that's it. I think you could rock this look without lashes, but I do want to put a little bit of brown mascara. I just always prefer it. And frankly, when you look close at Cate Blanchett, there is a touch of mascara there. I see it. A white mascara could be kind of cool. This is the shade Crystal from Thrive, and this is a lengthening mascara, so it's not going to add too much volume. It's just going to be about emphasizing the lash. And this is the finished makeup look. I'm really happy with it. I really feel like I was able to do a good job not going too saturated. Even though I love a dark lip line, I love a lot of blush. This look really has a certain like energy that can only be achieved if you keep things really stripped back and focus on that glow and really putting like a lot of steps into like products on your face that are going to reflect light, like products like this that often have like a pearlescent quality that even if you can't always see it in every light, it actually is like bouncing light off your skin. I think that's just a simple must with this type of look. And I hope you can see on camera just how much that is happening. And yeah, it's cool to see myself in a makeup look that's a lot more subdued and just trying to embrace what actually my natural features do have, which is a lot of desaturation. I usually am self-conscious of that, but this is a nice way to find a bit of beauty in that. And yeah, it was fun to just like take a bit of that artistic turn and try and use the eyes as that time to get that glitzy white that I just always associate with Galadriel, because we are modern people in the modern world, not in Lord of the Rings. I think this could be fun to like put this type of earring with it, you know, something like this. Shall I put it on? I'm gonna put it on. I feel like this kind of earring kind of just like mimics the qualities of the eye and then the skin, and it kind of helps with that effect of the light bouncing and really contributes to the general feeling of a Galadriel-esque makeup look. You know, you kind of want to just have all these little details that just feel like sparkly and celestial and ethereal. And I'm gonna just drop the exposure for a moment here. And I hope you can just see once again how much light and glow is happening. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this type of makeup look that's a little bit recreation, a little bit inspiration. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, Toasty, let's take it away. Thank you everybody for watching until the end. Toasty says, thank you for supporting my mama. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe, I always appreciate that. And until next time, may you all find yourselves a little bit of makeup magic, and we will see you in the next video. Bye, witches.